So I was scrolling through Reddit and I come across this video of this dude. You know what? I'll let him speak for himself.
Gun club.
Say sleepers?
Sleep is for the rich gun club.
Why are you guys out here with guns?
Why not? Those guys came on Sunday and they tried to intimidate some innocent women, ladies, unarmed men.
There go one of them right here.
There go one of them right there. Just post up right there. Just post this people right there. They came out here because those guys came out here trying to intimidate those girls, and they thought that they were gonna have it easy.
So basically, a neo-Nazi group shows up to, make fools of themselves, as they do, on the streets of this town, to intimidate the black community, the black population there. And instead of taking it, these guys decided to fight back. Hard respect for that.
One phone call was made, and the whole and everybody came down here armed. No bull.
And Louisiana is a total gun state.
Yeah, it's an open carry state. So that's open carry. So that's why we out here.
Who came out here this weekend? Who are you talking about?
The Confederates. You watch the news, right? What station you with?
KTBA.
KTB. Oh, y'all ain't keeping up with that? I bet. So anybody that keeps up with the news, you should know what went on this weekend. You should know. Don't start paying attention whenever we respond to stuff.
He knows he's on the news, gotta not swear, but I know personally it's a struggle. Anyway, so some Nazis come around and they start harassing these people, including this girl on the right here. And this black community decides to arm up and come out here and show force. It's not good when we, as a society, find ourselves in these situations, but obviously the right response is to show that you're not intimidated by these people. These people are doing the correct thing by showing equal force.
Yeah. Don't start paying attention whenever we start responding. Hey, big dog, hold on.
Dude, I love that. Big dog, he says. I am such a fan of that name.
Start paying attention whenever we start responding to stuff. The time to pay attention is not when the oppressed people decide to respond to the oppression.
Go ahead, Soldier.
You heard me? The time to be caring about race relations is when it's going down.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? The Confederate little nutcases come around and the news doesn't say anything to anybody. They don't show up. They don't talk about it. There isn't even a news story. Nothing. But when the black people get guns, suddenly it's a news story. I don't know if you knew this, but the one time the NRA ever stood for gun regulation was when the Black Panthers showed up with automatic assault rifles to do a protest or whatever. Under Reagan, I believe. Let me see. First major instance when the National Rifle Association notably supported gun control legislation was during the Mulford Act of 1967 in California. The act was introduced specifically in response to the Black Panther Party's practice of openly carrying firearms for self-defense and community patrols, which is what we're seeing now, by the way. Self-defense and community patrols again. Black Panther Party. In the 60s, the Black Panthers began openly carrying loaded firearms as a form of protest and community self-defense, notably against police brutality. The NRA, which historically emphasized responsible gun use and training, supported the Mulford Act. They did not challenge the legislation, despite it directly limiting gun rights, particularly open carry. The Mulford Act of 1967, the provision was... It prohibited the open carrying of loaded firearms in public in California. Signed into law July 28, 1967 by then-Governor Ronald Reagan. And the significance is that it marked one of the earliest and most notable instances of the NRA backing restrictive gun laws. Only when black people do it.
Don't wait. Why are we still having to come out here and fight over a monument that from people who fought against our country, bro? Y'all don't understand that
they've got a statue of a Confederate soldier in their town, really. Like, how do you think black people feel when they pass that every day? Do you know when those were put up? That's not 300 years old. If it were, it would have been torn down in the Civil War. It's from, like, the 1960s, predominantly. Some of them from, like, as early as 1915. They're not, like, from the 1800s, by and large. They were put up during Jim Crow era to intimidate people, to intimidate the children of slaves to make a point. We're still here. We still don't want you here. That's why those statues are there. So this dude's making a good point.
That from people who fought against our country, bro. Y'all don't understand the hypocrisy in that? And then you want to ask why we out here protecting these people?
They're immune from hypocrisy. They don't understand it. It's like people trying to like prove that, you know, Donald Trump and his weird little nutcases are all hypocritical douchebags. Everybody knew that. Everybody knew that you didn't need to prove that. And proving it doesn't really move the needle at all. I mean, we should, of course, continue to prove it, but it's not changing anybody's mind because they know they're hypocrites. There is no principle. They're not standing on any values except for hate, and that's it.
It's about good versus evil, that's why. If you claim to be a white ally and you stand with black people, that's cool. We appreciate that. But it's about good and evil, bro.
Absolutely right, it is. Nazis are evil. Plain and simple, Nazis are evil. If you're not a Nazi, cool. Go down there and stand with them.
And if you know what's right, you need to get off your high horse and you need to come down here. And if you're in the black community, like I've been saying all day, if you call yourself a tough guy, if you've never had a club fight, if you ever been in Coco's and had a club fight or any of these nightclubs, Sandbar, Phoenix, anywhere they is. Give me another one. Where we at? If you could go into a nightclub and be ready to punch something down, you need to come down here and be ready to punch something down for your people and for the right cause. And we starting the gun club. We getting every eligible person of color their gun rights. We gonna make sure that they know their gun rights. We're gonna make sure that damn near every eligible person of color got their concealed carry permits. Any brothers that may have felonies.
Dude, I really like his hat.
We working with attorneys right now, and we're gonna help y'all get y'all felonies cleared off your record. Yes, sir. So y'all boys can feel safe about protecting yourself. A Bossier police officer, when I was taking my concealed carry class, he told me, he said, cops are not crime fighters. Black people, cops do not fight crime. They respond. No, they respond to crime, little daddy.
That's interesting, right?
By the time the cops get there, you already been messed over. Yeah. You done already caught your issue, right?
That's an interesting point. They're not crime fighters. They're investigators that try to, like, set things right after the fact. Like, how could they be crime fighters, right?
So you need to find a way where you can protect yourself and your family before the cops get there.
Right then and right there.
Right then and there. By the time the cops get there, you need to be explaining to them.
Now, notice how he's handling this weapon. He is well-trained, and you can tell because his finger is pointing downward and it's not on the trigger. For Alpha Force Zero or anybody else who is unfamiliar with this world, this is called trigger discipline. You don't ever put your finger on the trigger unless you're ready to pull it, and you don't ever point the gun at somebody unless you're going to kill him. And he's observing those two facts by pointing it at the ground and showing good trigger discipline. He is well trained. He knows what he's doing, and he's doing it in front of an audience, and that's hard.
I used to shoot BB guns with my cousins when I was probably like 7, and I was taught like the same thing. Basically, I was taught don't point it at someone unless you're gonna shoot them, for example.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely.
By the time the cops get there, you need to be explaining to them why you got a few dead men on your front property.
I don't want to live in that world. Nobody else wants to live in that world. We need to defend ourselves, of course. But I'll tell you this, like, if somebody like invades your home in the middle of the night and they're trying to like get all your stuff, you could keep a gun for that possibility. But the fact is that person is there in the middle of the night because they don't want confrontation, more than likely. And they're probably going to just leave after they get out. Now, you have the choice, of course, of shooting somebody. But if you point the gun at them, you need to be, like, mentally aware that you're probably going to kill them. Even shooting them in the leg, that is not safe. You have a lot of arteries that run through your leg that will kill you if they're even nicked just a little bit. Like all the veins, the bone will explode and everything. It's not safe to shoot somebody anywhere, period. I know in the movies they pretend that it's safe to hit someone in the leg. It's not, okay? Now, you have a choice of shooting them or letting them leave and letting the police sort it out after the fact. If you choose to shoot them, be prepared to spend the next 20 years litigating every split-second moment, every split-second decision that you made from the moment they entered the house to the moment they died in courts, because that's what's going to happen. You don't get away with just killing somebody. It doesn't matter how brazen they were or whatever. You're going to have to go through the whole process. Do you really want to do that? Litigate your heat of the moment decisions for the next 20 years and maybe spend part of those 20 years in prison? I certainly don't. I'll take a baseball bat to intimidate and make sure that this person doesn't get anywhere near me. They'll take my stuff, they'll leave, I'll call the cops, and they'll handle it afterward. I understand what this guy is saying, but I completely fundamentally disagree with this assessment.
That's why we out here, because we ain't taking no intimidation and no bullying no more. If you white and you stand with us and you an ally, well, you come out here and make yourself known. It ain't enough to be quiet no more. It ain't enough to be quiet no more. Bring your ass out here and stand with us.
Quiet don't work.
Quiet don't work. And don't edit nothing out. I don't care if you got to make this a 30-minute, yeah.
Don't edit it.
And even if you do, it don't even matter.
This is for protection.
That's for protection.
This is for protection.
This is for this is for protection. This is for protection. But this is for protection. But don't get it twisted for 1 minute. Don't you get it twisted for 1 minute.
Get that on record.
Year 2020. And I want every black person all over the world to hear me.
You seen what he's doing with the gun? Still pointing it to the ground. Nobody in this situation should feel intimidated. I certainly wouldn't feel intimidated. He's not waving it around like a moron, and he's exercising perfect trigger discipline. This is how you do it, right here.
Even when he's lifting it up, his fingers are still
Yep.
down. The gun is still down, so everyone can see it, but no one's seeing the, what's it called? The like shaft,
Right.
front end.
The barrel?
Yeah, the barrel.
Yeah.
I don't know guns.
He's showing that he is competent and not throwing it around because he wants to freak people out.
Me.
It's a peace.
The muzzle. Somebody says the muzzle.
Hear me.
It's a peace. Peaceful person.
Black people have always been a peaceful people. Every single American war that this country gave us, black people fought in it, me included.
And not only that, we've never had.
Interesting. He was a veteran, huh?
Me included.
And not only that, we've never had that we never had that complex of that.
We never had that complex, bro.
That racial.
We would go to war and we
Black
come back
people
into
never
this
had that
state.
in the back of our head.
Dog,
We
black
never
people
had
have
that.
showed,
We weren't
dog,
born with that.
we done showed them Harvard graduates. We done showed them business owners. We done showed them genius artists.
President.
President Harvard, same thing.
And I think they're talking about Obama, and I think
Yeah.
he sidestepped that.
Man, we showed this white country every single piece of black excellence we can show them, and they still consider us. They still consider us less than. So guess what? Black people, we're gonna start spinning with us. If you white and you're not evil, you can come and spin with us. You heard me?
It's crazy that we still fighting for the same thing.
We still fighting for the same my granddaddy fought
We
for.
still fighting for rights that they.
You know, a lot of people still alive today, they like their grandparents were slaves. Like Dave Chappelle's grandmother was a slave. She was born a slave. And even though slavery was abolished in 1865, it took years for word to spread and for that to actually be enforced, first of all. Second, it wasn't really abolished in the United States. We still have slavery in the United States. Prisons are still slave labor camps, legally, constitutionally. Prisoners are slaves. And that's why that provision was put in there, so that they could get people on trumped up charges and put them in jail. You know, get black people on trumped up charges and enslave them. It was a compromise to end slavery. And on top of all of that, Jim Crow, segregation, all still existed until 1965. It's been a slow burn trying to fix it, trying to reverse it, and we still aren't there. So whether Dave Chappelle's grandmother was a slave is immaterial to the fact that Dave Chappelle, or maybe his dad, people alive today, had drank from blacks and whites only water fountains.
Still fighting for rights that they are
Get my
born
man
with.
right here.
For rights that they are born with, we still fighting for. So we ask us why we out here fight. We out here for a reason. We out here for certain privileges that we're supposed to be born with that we have to fight for.
Black versus white.
I was out here 2 weeks ago.
It's good versus evil, big
It's
dog.
good versus evil.
Yeah.
But it's still certain rights that my child is not born with that other children are.
Yeah.
That's why I'm out here fighting. It's still certain stigmatism that I still have to tell my child what to watch for certain stuff if he's ever stopped by this. But other kids on, what's the difference between their kids and my kids? What's the difference?
And then shout out to Leo Savage. Let's talk about Leo Savage. Let's talk about Savage. Come on, man.
I'm not sure who that is. Is that the mayor in the town?
Did you run for mayor?
He was all in the black
community. No, he just said,
No. Well, to whom it may concern.
To whom it may
To whom it may concern, bro. Don't speak on none of us carrying guns, and don't because I saw a comment that said, why aren't those men in jail for carrying those assault rifles? But you ain't say nothing about those Confederates when they pulled up trying to intimidate them little girls over there. So that's cool, but when the real men come to defend some shit and just be a symbol of power, now we should be in jail. I hope y'all paid attention to who made that comment on Facebook and don't vote for that he got going ever. Ever. Make sure y'all shop sleepersfortherich.com. Yeah. Because we still hustling.
You gotta put that plug in there. I got 1,000 tuned in right now. Put that plug in there.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate that the news is out here listening to this, but I'm sad that this is even necessary. And I'm also sad that people don't even realize how deep this runs and how long it's run that deep. We have Patriot Front literal Nazis marching down the streets regularly. Donald Trump supporters at this point, MAGA, I'm willing to take the step that they are Nazis. I'm willing to take the step. Would you agree with me that the KKK is Nazi? Nazis derived a lot of their racial laws from the United States. It's called the American model. There's a whole book about it. Like the 1 drop rule, which was an American rule. You have 1 drop of black blood and you're not truly white. Aryan is a fictitious, made-up designation that doesn't exist, and it never did. And in the same way, the concept of the KKK's concept of being white was also made up in the exact same way. There are German people that have lighter skin. There are, Irish people. There are British people and whoever else that have lighter skin. But the idea of whiteness is no more real than the idea of Aryanism. And it exists solely to inspire and fuel hate. Anyway, I hope this guy runs for something because I'm all in. Tell me what you think in the comments.